Hey everybody, so I decided to do something a little different today. I'm going to do a clothing comparison. Here it is, end of May in East Tennessee. Temperatures are really climbing up. You know, we're getting up into the low to mid 90s several days now, high humidity as well. So I got me thinking more about base layer stuff. You know, at the end of the turkey season, I was wearing some of the lightweight base layer clothing. And now that I come out here and work, I'm putting on a lot of the thinner, lighter weight base layer type clothing to do my work around the farm. You know, whether it be by bush hogging, food plot work, mineral sites, gardens. And we've got about 2 acres of personal garden that we maintain. So there's all kinds of other yard work and stuff that goes on. So all that sort of stuff is, you know, I'm out here in the heat of the summer, heat of the day doing it. And clothing's pretty critical for moisture management and regulation, not to mention just sun protection as well. So traditionally what I've used in the past for base layers during the either late turkey season or early deer archery season is I've wore more of your backpacking outdoor specific brands like your Marmot, your Patagonia. I have a little bit of North Face, not really big on that, but it just really wasn't fitting the need, you know, fitting what I was wanting it to do. It worked fine, it performed really well, with the exception of one of the Patagonia pieces I had, and it did not handle sweat and odor at all. It just reeked. One of the Capilene base layers, it was awful. That's kind of what set me on the path of trying to look at some of the more premium, high performance hunting apparels that are out there now. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through my progression through the hunting base layer and 3 of the manufacturers of those, my thoughts on each of those, and ultimately the one that I probably think suits my hunting style the best, but also the pros and cons of each of those. So, alright. Okay, so first shirt today. First shirt I'm going to go over. This is the Sitka Core lightweight long sleeve shirt. This shirt is this is a polyester shirt with a really thin kind of waffling on the inside of the shirt. That's to help with moisture management. This is a medium. So for reference purposes, I am about 5 foot. Somebody blowing the horn. So for sizing references, I'm about 5'7", 155 pounds or so. The medium, so for the most part, everything in Sitka medium fits me very well. This shirt is extremely lightweight. This is the lightest weight of the 3 shirts I'm going to go over today. It comes in at right around 5 ounces. It's definitely a very cool feeling shirt. So really, really hot weather. Like, I mean, even right now, it's not hot because it's first thing in the morning, but the humidity's, you know, relatively high. It's not as high as it has been the past few days, but this shirt, for the most part, feels cool to the touch. I mean, as soon as I put it on, I immediately start feeling cool. So that's a benefit in the really hot, humid summertime or early or late, early fall, late spring seasons. But because of that, I don't find that I wear this shirt very much in the mid seasons as a base layer, because it does have a cool to touch feel to it. I tend to start to begin to move up, which makes sense. I mean, Sitka has their core lightweight, core midweight, core heavyweight, Fanatic. You can work your way up the line, you know, accordingly. But you know, so as far as sizing goes, this fits really well. Keeps me really cool, keeps me dries very quickly. Pretty much my only frustration, or the 2 frustrations I have basically, are the thumb loops here. Number 1, the first frustration is the thumb loop. It's pretty small. It's not very, I don't think it's very creative, if you want to call it that. It's just a piece of elastic that's strapped inside the wrist cuff here. And when I pull this thumb loop over my finger and I raise my arm out, it begins to get tight here. So that's a little bit of a bother at times. The other thing is the overall length of the shirt. It's a little bit shorter sometimes. I like to tuck my shirts in whenever I'm hunting. One, for tick control, because I have a lot of ticks here and everywhere I hunt here, and I don't want the ticks to just climb right up my shirt, so I tuck my shirt in. This shirt is relatively short, and if I'm not wearing a pair of Sitka pants with the rubberized waistband, then this shirt will tend to pull out. So, you know, price point of this shirt, I believe it was around $69. I'd have to look it up. I don't recall offhand. I never pay retail for any of my gear. I buy it on clearance, or I know a guy who sells it, and I get in touch with him, and I can get a pretty good deal. But I think I paid $35 for this shirt. This was a used shirt, so I actually paid $35. So not a bad piece at all for that price. Okay, next piece of clothing here. Okay, so the next shirt here today is this is actually a KUIU Peloton 130. They no longer make this shirt. Actually, they've recently discontinued this shirt. They've kind of redesigned it and come up with some new materials, and they've rebadged it as something different. I don't recall the name of it for the new shirt, but anyway, so part of the reason that I have this black or charcoal color is for that reason. This shirt was clearanced out. All the camo patterns were out of stock in my size, so I went with the solid. That's really fine with me because, you know, I do tend to wear this shirt underneath my other hunting layers, so, you know, it's not as cool, in my opinion, as the Sitka shirt is. It looks very nice. It's a very nice looking shirt. I really like the way that the thumb loop is hidden here. Basically, it's really interesting looking with the way that that's designed. You know, with this flap of material here that covers the thumb loop, and it's kind of a hidden thumb loop. It's really nice. The length of the sleeves, the length of the shirt tail is better than the Sitka shirt, so I do like that aspect as well. I find that I wear this shirt out more just in casual outings than I do any of my camouflage shirts. Obviously, this shirt pairs really well, you know, with, I can throw a vest on it, I can do whatever, and it really works for those type of applications. You know, it's a little bit heavier. It's about an ounce heavier. This is a medium as well. I'm a little surprised at the bagginess factor here. I was under the impression that KUIU is also rather form-fitting, similar to the Sitka Under Armour type stuff, but this is actually quite a bit baggier for the same size medium shirt as the Sitka was. Also a polyester shirt. I didn't mention on the Sitka, that Sitka shirt is treated with Polygiene. It's an antimicrobial, odor resistant, basically, technology. The KUIU is treated with Toray's MOC-Spec treatment. It's a very similar process, type procedure, and so it does the same sort of thing. They both help to reduce the odor caused by bacteria that develops when you sweat, and, you know, you get that on your shirt while you're out being active in the early season, or if you're out west doing a lot of hiking and walking. You know, here I've got several places here that I hunt where, you know, it's about a 3/4 of a mile hike into my stand, and, you know, on 90-degree days with 80% humidity, I'll be dripping wet with sweat by the time I get there. And so this shirt with the treatment, whether it be the KUIU or the Sitka shirt, that really helps a lot with me being able to manage my odor in those type of instances. It's a comfortable shirt. You know, it's not as cool, as I said, as the Sitka, but overall it's a nice shirt. I'd like to get my hands on the newer version of the KUIU shirt to see how it compares. So, and then now I'm going to put on the last shirt and give you the summary of that one. Okay, so last shirt today is the First Light Minaret. First Light has now replaced this shirt with the new Wick. Very similar shirt. This is actually a merino and I believe nylon blend shirt. I think it's 90% merino, 10% nylon. The nylon helps this shirt with the wicking, you know, being able to wick moisture, sweat away from the body. This, for sizing purposes, this is a First Light small. So I keep same size with Sitka and Kuiu as medium. That's what the sizing charts show. With First Light, their clothing seems to be a little bit oversized, so I actually size down. So this small fits me perfectly. As far as comparing this shirt to the others, this is probably the most comfortable against the skin because it is the merino wool, so it just feels more natural. It does a fairly good job of wicking moisture. I wore merino out in Colorado pretty much every day this year on my elk hunt, and it really did a really good job, especially in those low humidity areas where if you stop for a little while, you know, the sweat and the sweat and moisture in the shirts will evaporate really quickly. Here in the east, here where I'm commonly in 80% humidity, it's not quite so fast. I mean, you've still got, there's a lot of moisture in the air, so you can't just pull moisture out of the shirt if there's already a lot of moisture in the air. So it's a lot harder for it to dry, but it still dries a lot better than a lot of other materials. This is the shirt that I go to when I'm kind of in that in-between. If it's going to be, you know, chilly in the morning and then hot in the afternoon, or if I'm doing an afternoon set and it's hot and it's going to cool down, bugs and gnats are swarming me out here. This is the shirt I'm going to get because this shirt actually has a warmer, you know, it feels warmer against my skin. Merino has a higher warmth to weight ratio than the polyester shirts that I showed you before. So this shirt here is probably the most comfortable. It has a wider temperature range flexibility, but you know, in the really hot summertime, I'm probably not going to go for this shirt. I'll probably go for the Sitka, you know, if it's really hot. But those shoulder time, or if I'm going to use this as kind of even a base layer going into mid-season, this shirt's fantastic as a base layer. The thumb hole loop is very nice. The length of the sleeve, the length of the shirt is excellent for me. Very, very satisfied with this shirt. The pattern's also really nice. This is the fusion pattern, and it tends to work really well in various different settings here where I'm at. So, you know, pattern, a lot of people place a lot of emphasis on pattern. If you're talking about deer, any type of ungulate, pattern's not really that big of a deal. I mean, you won't want to move, you just want something to break up your outline. Now, if you're going for turkeys or maybe some sort of predator or whatever, yeah, you're going to want to go with a pattern that's going to blend in, and you know, you're going to blend into your background so much better. But for general purpose ungulate, whitetail, mule deer, elk, to me the pattern's not that big of a deal. It just comes down to personal preference. So that's basically the three higher end, or the three, yeah, higher end. They're higher end. I mean, I'm not gonna, you can't, you know, say they're not higher end. I mean, the price point obviously says they're higher end. The quality of materials is definitely higher end than the Under Armours, the Nomads, all those other things. Really pleased with all of them. Each one of them kind of fits their own little role, though. I mean, they're vastly different products. So hope this video helps some out there. I hope to do a video similar to this as far as pants here in the near term. I've got another pair of pants coming in, so I can do a similar comparison there. So feel free to comment, like, subscribe to my channel, whatever, and I wish you a wonderful day, excellent summer, and God bless.